Yeah, how's it looking, Sabrina?
Good afternoon, Nick. Well, for most of us, it's 2 warm or very warm days with a humid feel, and then all change this weekend. A few exceptions, though. It's not going to be dry conditions for everyone, and it's not going to be wall-to-wall sunshine either. Some western areas in particular will struggle under some of that misty low cloud. So this is how things are shaping up through this afternoon then. Under that thicker cloud in parts of the north and west, the chance for a little bit of patchy rain and drizzle, but nothing too prolonged. But I think most of the country just seeing plenty of sunshine, a little bit hazy in places with a lot of dry weather around. The wind's typically gentle, a touch breezier for some coastal spots, and look at those temperatures back in the 20s for many of us, just a little bit suppressed for some coastal spots where we have some of that mist. So temperatures today then in the hot spots up to about 25, possibly squeezing out at 26 Celsius. As for tonight, still a lot of dry weather around for most of us, variable amounts of cloud. I think for westernmost areas here, some thicker cloud and also sea fog. It will be a mild, humid feeling night. Overnight lows of around 12 to 15 Celsius. Our Friday forecast then, I think for most of us, still another fine looking day. Plenty of sunshine, a lot of dry weather too, and feeling warm, if not very warm once again. If anything, those temperatures a shade higher, but it's always going to be those western fringes once again where we'll see some misty low cloud linger, but not for all western locations. And again, not too much of a breeze. Breeziest up through the Irish Sea. But all change though by the time we get to Saturday, an active cold front going through. That means rain and cooler conditions. Sunday, your drier day of the weekend. Nick. And I'm in one of the warmest parts of Wales for this evening's forecast. If you're wondering how long these warm conditions will last, then join me later for that full forecast.
In the Vale of Glamorgan, and oh, it looks lovely there, Sabrina, gorgeous.
Hi Lucy. Yes, I have escaped the studio for this evening's bulletin. We're here at Llanach Vineyard where the sun is shining, it's feeling nice and warm. That's ideal growing conditions for these grapes. So most of us today have experienced lots of sunshine and certainly felt that warmth. Not exactly a heat wave by definition, but the warm, humid spell will also continue for most of us through tomorrow. But by the time we get to Sunday, all change, and Saturday, well, that looks to be pretty much a washout for some areas actually. As for this evening, we're expecting the best of that sunshine in parts of the south and east. There is a bit more cloud in parts of the north and west. That will squeeze out a little bit of patchy light rain and drizzle. And as we stretch through the overnight stretch, I think there will be more cloud developing, mainly out to the west, where we could also see some sea fog. So it will be a mild, muggy feeling night. Those overnight lows in double digits, dipping away to around 12 to 15 Celsius. Now, as we go through tomorrow, I think it's ideal conditions for most of us, where it will be dry and bright for the vast majority. A good deal of sunshine developing too. It's really going to be out to the west where there will be a bit more of a contrast. I think there will be some mist and fog which could linger in a few spots, but I think most of this should lift up into low cloud. Always a chance for a little bit of drizzle in the far west, but I think for most of us it is a fine looking day, and that warmth really coming through too. So I'd say most places actually seeing those temperatures getting up into the 20s. That's certainly above average. So tomorrow's highs then getting up to about 25 or 26 Celsius in some of the warmer spots, especially the further east you are, and the winds pretty much gentle in strength for many. So as we go into Saturday's forecast then, an active cold front will sweep across the country, and I think that does mean quite a lot of wet weather in store and certainly a cool down with those temperatures back down closer to average. So I think the rain will be pretty widespread, some of which will be on the heavy, potentially thundery side too. I think the wind's not too strong, so where we do see that rain, it will be quite slow moving. Temperature wise then, back down closer to average to around 17 to 20 Celsius. And then by the time we get to Sunday, at the moment, it is looking like the better day of the weekend, on the cool side compared with what we will be used to. But I think there will be some sunshine coming through for many areas, and in that sunshine, it will make a difference. Many places dry too, but I wouldn't rule out a few isolated showers. As for next week, it is looking more mixed. On Monday, more in the way of scattered showers. A little bit of a ridge of high pressure moves in on Tuesday and Wednesday. That should settle things down, so some drier conditions expected. And then more in the way of rain on Thursday. So next week, more mixed. Showers or longer spells of rain. Temperatures closer to average. If you're enjoying the warm weather, make the most of it. Lucy.
Sabrina.
Good evening. We're in the middle of a warm and humid spell. Not quite the case of wall-to-wall sunshine for all areas, but this will all be short-lived, back to some cooler and wetter conditions by the time we get to Saturday. As for the rest of tonight then, we're looking at dry conditions for most places, just squeezing out a few spots of light rain and drizzle where we do have some of the thicker cloud in parts of the north and west. Some sea fog also likely up parts of the west coast, and then we'll also see those overnight lows on the mild side feeling humid too, 12 to 15 Celsius. As for our Friday forecast, then I think most places seeing a dry and bright day with a good deal of sunshine, feeling warm, if not very warm too, with those afternoon highs of around 19 to 25 Celsius. I think one of the only main exceptions will be for some western areas where we could see some misty low cloud linger, perhaps just a little bit of drizzle, but nothing too significant, and generally gentle winds, a touch breezier for some coastal spots, but then back to cooler and wetter conditions on Saturday. Sunday, your drier day of the weekend. That's your latest.